Hi there, I've just logged in after downtime on the first day of the Doctor Who event, so I'm just going to go through it, do a little overview. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I don't normally do abyssal sites or hacking sites, so I'm looking at this from a complete beginner's point of view. So the first thing that comes up is they've got daily gifts here. I'm just going to collect those. It tells me that it's a skill points today, and it tells me that tomorrow there's going to be some boosters as well, and it looks like throughout the event there will be some skins and a filament, more skins and more skill points, but there's 13 days of gifts there. More skins, more skill points, and a booster crate as well. So let's just close that and we're logged in. So my understanding of this event is that there are two parts to it. The first one is a site you have to probe down in order to get a filament, and the second part is to activate the filament to go somewhere to, I assume, engage the Dalek ships. The ship I've decided to go for here is an Astero. I've got my prober ready. I believe there's some kind of hacking required, so I've got a data analyzer there. And just in case there's any PvP involved, I've got dual rep, cat booster, and I've got my drones on board as well. So let's go out and about and see what we can find. I'm in Jita. Jita's going to be mobbed, and there doesn't tend to be much happening in the way of PvE in Jita because obviously the system's already quite busy. So let's just get out of Jita. So what you'll need to do is click on this button here which opens your scanners, and click on probe scanner. And that tells you up here there are no signatures or anomalies in the current system. So we'll move over to another system. Now there are some cosmic signatures here. Just going to warp to a safe. And I've got the probes out. Now, I am not the best at scanning, so we'll just see how this goes. Okay, let's latch onto this one down here. Now, as you close in on it, it makes sense to narrow down the search area, and bear in mind that they tend to be close to celestials as well. So that says relic site. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. It's fairly obvious I'm not very experienced at scanning, not very good at it. Ah, now this is what I'm looking for. So it says warp matrix. So that is the right site. I'm going to warp to that just now. And we'll see what happens. Okay. So these look like ordinary things that you would hack. It's not a data analyzer that I need. Okay, so what do I need? So I have an alt in Jita who has bought a relic analyzer, and I will now get him to come deliver it to me here. So I've now got the right module installed, I hope, which is a relic analyzer. So I'm going to warp back to the bookmark and hope that somebody else hasn't beaten me to it. So now I've got these things, strange matter and time crystal. Apparently I'm meant to be able to provides the materials needed for the next part of the adventure. So you can use the discoveries from the warp matrix convergence heist to craft a special filament that will take you to an all-new area of space, exclusive to this crossover event. And how on earth do you craft them? This is more like work than a game. Ah, system core. What I'm going to do is try and find out how it is that you craft the filament and what you need to make the filament. And then I'm going to keep scanning down, but I'm not going to make you watch all of that. So I'll come back when I've got a bit more information. So I've done now what I should have done in the first place, which is to look and find the official EVE Online video about the Doctor Who filaments, and found out that if I kept going in the sites, then one of the things that would be dropped would be one of these blueprints, which is a warp matrix filament blueprint. There's lots of different sorts of them. This one's called a curious warp matrix filament blueprint. And what happens is it uses titanium and pyrite, which you would need to get from the market or mine yourself. But it also uses components that drop in the site. And once you make it, once you've got all these components, you can activate the blueprint in a station. If you go to 44 Jeter or any station that's got this symbol on it, which means industry, then it means that you can build this. And it only costs 14 ISK and takes 3 minutes 49. For my skills, 3 minutes 49. It might be different for yourself, depending on skills and implants. Once it's made, this comes out, which is the filament. So what I'm going to do is put it in my ship, and now I'm going to undock and find somewhere relatively quiet to use this filament. Now perimeter would seem to be a good place to activate this because it's a 1.0 security system, meaning that if anyone did try to attack me coming out of this, then Concord would be there fairly quickly. Because you can never trust gankers. Walk to literally the middle of nowhere, and I've got a filament in my cargo, so I'm just going to try and use the filament and see what happens. So, this warp matrix filament appears to be connected to a very curious pocket of space-time that will likely require exploration and analysis. Air advises capsuleers to bring relic analyzer equipment to best explore the other side. Okay, I've got that. Ship restrictions. So you're restricted in exploration of covert ops frigate, which I am in. Sensors indicate that an energetic conduit will remain open at the destination, providing a means of returning to normal space from the unknown space pocket. You'll have 30 minutes before the warp field collapses and destroys your ship and capsule. Okay. Let's activate it. Ah, this is like the Doctor Who. The beginning of Doctor Who, isn't it? Okay. So, a convergent decelerant nexus and the gate to get back to normal space. And we've got boxes to hack here, so we'll try and hack them. See what happens. I don't know what this nexus is. If I click info, tightly bound and inverted knot of space-time that may spontaneously unravel if a sufficiently massive object gets too close. The spaceship would qualify. So I want to try and stay away from these things. I guess I don't. I want to see what happens. Okay. System core. So I've hacked that, and I've got some more things to make filaments with. And that's it. So this is a calm site. So I suppose all that's left is to head back. Back through the Doctor Who opening credits. Okay, well what I'm going to do is see if I can get a different kind of filament and maybe go into a site that has some PvE in it. Makes sense that the previous site wouldn't have had any PvE in it given the ships that it recommended to go in being explorer ships, not necessarily ones that would survive PvE or be any good for fighting against ships. So I've got a different warp matrix filament which says that at the top here it recommends 1 or 2 capsules flying the Omen, Caracal, Thorax, Stabber, Mauler, Moa, Vexor or Rupture will be able to use this filament. Air analysis suggests that the weak hostile ships will be found on the other side of this filament. So I've got a Vexor, fairly disposable ship, and I'm going to go back to perimeter and try and activate this. So level 1 combat. So this sounds like it's going to be fairly straightforward. Again, I've got 30 minutes before the ship gets destroyed. I haven't brought the right drones. Just noticed that. Okay, never mind. Let's see what's here. Okay, so we've got a critically damaged BioMechanoid Saucer. Just take a look at that. Wow, it does look like a flying saucer, doesn't it? We've got some of the accelerant nexus, some frigates. And experience has told me you want to get rid of them first. And then the gate to return back to normal space there. So, let's unleash a couple of, well, 5 Warrior 2s to engage the BioMechanoid Combat Unit frigates. Wow! I'm webbed already. So we'll just get the warriors to engage there. Okay. Whoops. I'm using my crew, there we go. That's better. Using my blasters on something far too far away. Now, does it not leave any wrecks, or do I not have wrecks on my overview? Okay, so I'm guessing that a lot of this damage was done before I got here. It did say critically damaged. So, I don't think it's causing me much in the way of damage. Okay. So no, there was no second wave. Let's see what's inside. Ah! Blueprints! And a signature booster as well. And that looks like that site. It did say it was an easy one. That site is complete. Before we jump back through, let's just take a little look at what we've got here. Enigmatic, warp matrix, hazardous and mysterious. A single capsuleer flying an exploration frigate or covert ops will be able to use this filament. No hostile vessels. Hazardous, moderately strong hostile ships will be found on the other side. And the last one is enigmatic, no hostile vessels. So the hazardous one is where I'm going to lose my ship. So that's given you a little bit of an overview as to what's happening with Doctor Who here. It's very much an EVE Online interpretation of Doctor Who, with it being like a cross between a normal abyssal, having a certain amount of time to carry things out before your ship dies, but throwing in the Doctor Who title sequence when you enter the UFO there, and then I assume that there will be different ships to fight. If you go the way of the hazardous warp matrix filament, feel free to criticize my fit there, completely deserve it, and also the amount of time it took me to realize what the heck this was all about. As usual, please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos if you're interested at all in ganking, because that's what a lot of them are about. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again next time.